What's up guys, and if you haven't been living under a rock recently, you probably have seen loads of those creative maps where you can increase your field of view or FOV. However, this is done by using Creative 2.0 or UEFN. And I would assume you have to code that, and not all people can do that. So if you want a simpler way, or if you are using Creative 1.0, this is the tutorial for you. I have found a way to do it and it's quite simple. Now this is one of my longer tutorials because I go quite in depth on how to do this so you guys properly understand how to do it. So make sure to watch to the end so you guys have a better understanding of how to do this, because you could skip over some parts that are really important. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see more longer tutorials, and like and subscribe for more. But anyway, let's just get straight into the video. Alright guys, so I first want to outline the basic method of doing this. So basically you get the Falcon Scout item, and you have to pick up an item. You can pick up an item while you're using the Falcon Scouts, and basically you have to die while doing that, and then when you respawn you should have an increased FOV. And I'm just going to go over the settings for the devices. Okay guys, so for this mechanic to work you're going to want to place down a button, and I've renamed mine to button FOV so I know what this button does on my map. Now the only settings you're going to want to change are interaction time, I put it to 1 second, reset delay, put this to 5 seconds, interaction text, put something like enter drone and pick up another drone, and it will automatically kill you, and then that will give you the increased FOV. But you can put that on a billboard or something next to the button if that's easier for you. And then you want to put interaction radius to 1 or something a bit bigger so you can interact with it a bit better. Then place down a damage volume, and the settings you're going to want are damage type, put this to elimination, enable during phase to none, and enable the effects to disabled. And you also want to rename your damage volume to something like damage volume FOV. And then guys, place down a trigger, and you can disable the trigger by player, vehicles and sequences and water. Delay, put this to 5 seconds, trigger sound disabled, trigger the effects disabled, invisible in games to no. And also rename it to trigger FOV. And then copy that trigger, and you're just going to want to put the same settings but put a delay to 1 second, and that's the only setting that you need changed. So now guys, let's go over the functions and the events tab. So go to the events tab and put on interact send event to the trigger FOV, and you want that to trigger. That's the first trigger we set up. And as you can see, if we go to the trigger, it has a 5-second delay. So once you press that button you have a 5-second delay. And then guys, if you go to the events tab, you can put on triggered send event to, the device is the damage volume FOV, and you want that to enable. So basically after the 5-second delay the barrier will enable. And then also you want to have it on triggered send event to the second trigger, and you want that to be triggered, because for this trigger it has a 1-second delay. And after that 1-second delay you want it to on triggered send event to the damage volume FOV again, and you want that to disable. So basically after the 5-second delay it will enable the damage volume, and then 1 second later it will then disable it, so then people can use this mechanic again and again. Alright guys, so now let's test it out. So I'm just going to pick up some weapons here, and I'm going to show you the normal current FOV I have right now, and it looks like this. So now let's try and do the increased FOV mechanic. So basically if you go up to the button and interact with it, you have 5 seconds, and then you want to enter the Falcon Scout and pick up another one, and then it will automatically kill you, and then when you respawn you should have the increased FOV, and it's really as simple as that. It's not really that hard to do, and most of you will probably be able to do this if you have some knowledge in creative. And as you can see, even your aim down sights FOV switches, and it looks quite cool. What's even better is that if you respawn or if you die while you have the increased FOV, you still keep it after you die. So that's really cool, so you don't have to keep repeating this to get it. And it even does it if you end the round and you respawn back in the next round. So that is really sick. And also guys, if you were wondering how to get the Falcon Scout item, all you have to do is place down an item spawner, and you can copy my settings if you want. And all you want to do is just go to your creative inventory and go to the weapons, and you can just scroll down and find the Falcon Scout, and then all you want to do is drop it into the item spawner. Just to show you guys, this does work. As you can see, the before and after results are doing this mechanic, and you can clearly see here the increased FOV does work. Alright guys, so I just made a quite simple visual way of describing this. So basically, once you press the button has a 5-second delay, so you can't press it multiple times in that window that you're doing this mechanic in. And basically, once you've interacted with that, it will trigger on the first trigger, and after that 5-second delay on the first trigger, it will then trigger the damage volume to enable, and then it also triggers the second trigger, which has a 1-second delay, and after that it will then disable the damage volume. So here's just a helpful visual if you guys don't quite understand, and it might be just a bit easier way to understand it. However, don't worry guys, if you can't figure it out, I say it's an even simpler way, and all you have to do is pick up the Falcon Scout and hold an item while you're using it, just like I did before, and then just get your friend or an enemy to kill you, and that will still work, and you don't need to set up this automatically killing yourself mechanic. That's just a more manual way to do it, but the way I showed in the video is automatic, so it just depends on how you want to do this. And I know some of you guys may be asking, is this a glitch? Well, yes, technically, but the Falcon Scout item isn't in the game currently, so there's no real reason for this to get patched. So guys, I hope this helped you out, and I know a lot of you guys will probably find this helpful, so make sure to like and subscribe to see more tutorials just like this. Check out this playlist on screen now to see more. Thanks for watching the video guys, peace.